Diablo был повержен.
Okay, so, could you tell us some new secret information about new add-on for the game, the time period, the grade, practice?
Well, that's a great first question. We're currently working on a patch. The release date has not been released, but the patch will give ladders and seasons to adventure mode, so the players will be able to sort of show their stats as to how quickly they got through something, or even get tiered rifts, so that if you're exceptional at running through rifts, you can even up the stakes and go into a harder one, and then a harder one and such. The patch mainly touches on new additions to adventure mode, because an adventure mode is new, and it's sort of, you know, developing even as our players are using it, and everybody's super excited about it. So they're kind of focused on that right now.
Казалось, наконец, наступит мир. Но этому не бывать. Ибо сущность Диабло заточена в черном камне души. Я не могу уничтожить камень, но и не позволю злу остаться на небесах.
To escape from this game for two primary and secondary effects. For legendary items, do you have any plans to add a chance to get 5-2 or maybe 6-2 scams?
In the items, yeah?
Yes.
Currently, we don't. I haven't heard anything about plans to expand that. With the expansion, with Reaper of Souls, it was important for them to roll out all kinds of new content for the player, be able to change their affixes with additions of the Mystic, things of this. So they concentrated mostly on that. For the future, who knows? But we currently don't have plans to tune or to affect the affix count.
Нужно скрыть камень, даже от ангелов. Надеюсь, этого будет достаточно.
Diablo can take a shooter second hand, so why would not add the ability to the, for example, Scoundrel take a Quiver, and to the Enchantress take an Orc, provided that in the main hand should have one-handed weapon?
Sure, it's a good question. The followers in the expansion were just sort of tuned a bit. They added a lot of new dialogue to them to sort of, you know, entertain you while you level up through the dungeons. But they haven't really talked too much about adding on to their animation set, their weapon set. It's possible in the future. You know, we may decide that followers need a new pass of some sort. But right now they're working really well. I think we all like how it's balanced, and especially as far as followers go, like people seem to like them the way they are, and we don't have any plans right now to do that.
Спасибо вам, Харадримы. Ваша служба окончена. И теперь вам надо бежать.
We have a new place, it's Nephilim Rifts. And what do you think about to make 2 or 3 bosses in it at the same time? Now it's only the one. So, you know, it's especially interesting for the party cooperative.
Yeah, sure. That's a great question also. I haven't heard anything about adding more bosses to the Nephilim Rift fights. Mostly it's because Nephilim Rifts are new, and rolling it out with the expansion gets people excited about it, and also starts people thinking about ideas like this, right? So moving forward, it's kind of endless for the sake of what we can do with Nephilim rifts or bounties or something that hasn't even been talked about yet, right? But right now we don't have plans to do that. I like that idea personally. I'd love to like roll in there with, you know, 2 monks and 2 demon hunters and be able just to, you know, see how long I could last, basically. Yeah. Yeah.
Болтаем.
Is it true that within the Diablo's sword engine, it's not possible to create the necromancer from Diablo's second? So we know that it's maybe because of the limit on the minions count.
I haven't heard that. However, we talked about we were always sort of talking about the possibility of what a next character could be. Everybody, fans, you know, developers, we all love the Necromancer. I've never heard anything about the reason we can't do a Necromancer. It's my understanding that Blizzard is great about giving us the bandwidth or the technology that we need if we want to do something. So, I don't know, I think, you know, all things are possible if we wanted to do it. So, I haven't heard specifically that we can't make a necromancer because of the spawn count and such, but that's interesting. But who knows what the future holds?
About a new verse, so maybe you can tell us about a new one in the Repaer of Souls. It's
a new character?
Yes, a new character.
Like a new monster, or a new.
So yeah, let's talk about everything.
Okay. Do you want to know like what's new? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we have countless monsters, right? I mean, gosh, we have so many new monsters. We have 3 new bosses, right? We have new levels, each one different from the next, and insanely fun and replayable and unique. Malthael, of course, is the main boss for Reaper of Souls. I don't know. Have you played much yet? Is it
Not so much.
Okay. Malthael is one of the characters that we needed to be able to get the player excited about beating the main boss at the end. It's very hard to beat Diablo and then go from Diablo to somebody else unless that person is the angel of death, right?
Yeah, I understand.
So it's super. It was a puzzle to try to figure out keeping everything that people liked about Diablo 3 and making its own sort of voice, its own emotional character within Reaper of Souls, and making it set apart from Diablo 3. So the new monsters we've added, the new bad guys, the new bosses, right? It comes together and it gives the player everything that they loved about Diablo 3 and new, fresh, exciting ways of, you know, wrecking shop, killing everybody, and getting cool loot.
Брат, зачем?
why bothering that someone's a treasure goblin does not work on the follower. And maybe, in the future, of course, there will be some the same abilities to add the rings or so on the followers.
To the followers, yeah. Kind of back to the answer I had about the followers earlier. Going forward, that could happen. Right now, we can't have affixes really set on followers. I think I played. I was in a group not too long ago where we all had treasure goblins, and it's amazing because you have this huge. You're already 4 guys with all kinds of AOE spells going off and effects, and everybody's got a treasure goblin, and it's chaos, but it's wonderful, right? I can't speak to design. I'm not a designer, but I would think that if your follower has affixes now, it might affect balance of what they want you to be able to experience in the game. So moving forward, maybe they would end up having limited or maybe all abilities cross over onto the followers. But it's true, currently we don't allow those affixes to affect the followers. Yeah.
Нефалем остановит тебя.
Никто не остановит смерть.
Maybe maybe you could explain us a strange situation about the meaning of crafting of legendary items, which don't differ from the usual yellow items. They don't have any well-defined parameters, or they don't have its own just spices. For example, we have these images, so you can see this one. And the stay the same
as the legendary.
Yeah, and for example, this one is the same.
Yeah. Well, as we move forward, tuning, balance, armors. They're sort of organic the way that we develop them and make them. A lot of times people will we put transmogrification into the game because people want to see their favorite armor match the shoulder pads, match the leggings, So it's a bit of a puzzle, and I can't speak to design for the sake of those particular aspects and those numbers, but we're constantly tuning. Every patch that comes out it's a numbers game, and you'll see a fresh pass take on to legendary items or certain affixes or monster powers and things. So moving forward, I can't speak with certainty, but that's something that we talk about quite frequently.
Okay, so the deal is not in the numbers, but in the beauty.
For an artist, and for the art side of things, everybody's passionate about a certain look of an armor and will sometimes even refuse to play it, even if it's a legendary, because they want their character to look this way, and they'll dye it, whether pink or whatever they want, because we want to give the player what they want.
Yeah.
And that we're glad that players are passionate about even the smallest little boot that you wear. So moving forward, I think players, whether they like that or whether they have to have a legendary, there's an option for them. It might get tuned. I can't speak directly to those particular items.
What do you think about to make the game more diverse? For example, at Rune Gods, like it was in Diablo 7.
Diverse in what capacity? Like having more runes, even more runes.
Yeah, maybe.
With this expansion, they gave us a certain mandate. We wanted to give new environments to the player. Of course, we wanted to give a new player character to the player, new armors and a new artisan with the mystic. So moving forward, we may come up with other ideas by which we can affect gameplay and make it more diverse. It's something we are constantly thinking about, what's going to set this apart from what other people have played, but still keep Diablo core players happy. So who knows what crazy, amazing things we'll come up with next. But currently, what we've sort of served up to our players and what we've created, we're very proud of. We think that this is a whole new fresh take, meanwhile keeping this amazing, fun, you know, kill a million monsters and get all kinds of epic loot in a game. So I can't directly answer that question, but as we move forward with tuning and things may may become more creative as we move forward. We'll come up with something else.
Я встретил беженцев. Они рассказали, что в Вестмарше ангелы устроили резню. Убивают людей тысячами, и никто не знает почему. У меня нет любви к этому городу, но я не буду стоять и смотреть, как расправляются с его жителями. Скоро жнецы узнают, что не только они умеют убивать.
My question.
Yeah, sure.
It's about auction.
The auction house.
Closed and deleted from the game.
Sure.
Have we a chance to see it again in game?
Sure. Oh, you mean
Because I really like it.
Oh, you like the auction house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice to hear. The auction house was it's a big piece of news. You know, closing it, of course. Initially, Blizzard created the auction house to make players happier. You know, to make them be able to get whatever they wanted, sort of whenever they wanted it. What ended up happening is that it worked so well that players were always able to get what they wanted. You know, and ultimately gameplay was affected in a way that, well, design and by a resounding opinion of other players, we ended up closing it. We thought it affected gameplay better by getting back to our original D2 core values of the game, in the kind of the slang monsters, crossing your fingers and hoping that you get what you want. So as much as it's great to hear that you love the auction house, you know, I think Blizzard listens to, you know, a lot of their players and changes accordingly. So we closed it. I'm sorry. And we don't have plans to reopen it. So far with this game, you know, and closing the auction house, most of what we hear is really positive. Yeah. And people love that you can get in adventure mode and, you know, roll a couple of bounties and do a Nephilim Rift and get unexpected loot. They balanced it by closing the auction house, but giving you this thing called Loot 2.0, where they did a whole new pass on how you get loot, and your legendaries now drop like only for you, which is so great. I was so tired of getting Witch Doctor items when I'm playing a wizard or whatever. It's frustrating. So that doesn't happen anymore. So it's a balance. They got rid of this, but they gave you exactly what you like. Yeah.
Some time ago, you released a new system of trophies, Loot
2.0?
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you think it's in all part we can call it the alternative for the auction, for example?
Oh, you're saying it's replaced the auction house? Not a direct replacement, but certainly in the puzzle that is game design. Yeah. If we took this away, we didn't want to take it away without improving the game on purpose. Yeah. We didn't want to say, oh, this is affecting gameplay, get rid of it, and let them work it out. We wanted to give the player an exciting new way to play the game and make them happy about, you know, not having the auction house anymore, but I get the drops that I want, or at least I get the drops that are gonna, you know, relate to my character. So it's a balance. It's not a direct replacement, but it certainly was intentional in that we are removing this and getting something that we think is pretty juicy and pretty good.
Okay, so maybe the last question is, about the auction too.
Okay.
Do you think in some ways or maybe types we will see it again in somewhere sometime?
If in some way gameplay can be you know, improved, you know, that's gameplay is key for Blizzard games. So if there's an idea on the table that's worth experimenting with, yeah, who knows? But currently, we're happy with it being gone. You know, and unfortunately, but so far we like it and we think it's a success. And get out there and play with Loot 2.0. I think you'll love it. So, you know, give it a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Okay. So, thank you.
Oh, hey, thank you. Pleasure. All right.